Hey, sorry for my tardiness today. My class ran late and I needed to get some stuff prepped so that we wouldn't be on here forever. I'm Susan, the Ultra Marathon Grandma, and this is Ultra You, being your best self. And we're gonna cook today out of the refrigerator. And it's impromptu, but not. So I looked in my refrigerator to see what I had. I had cauliflower, zucchini, peppers, carrots, onion, and I thought, what could I do with all that? You can always make soup, but I kind of wanted something different. So I Googled vegan cauliflower, peppers, zucchini, and something I've never done before, made cauliflower rice. I've bought cauliflower rice, but I've never made it. Well, I think I did one time when I made a cauliflower rice pizza crust, and you know, it's a mess, but it's so worth it. So I have most of it already ground up. I used my tiny little food processor so I don't have to get the big one out and make a mess. Oh, and I have mushrooms as well. So right now in the skillet, I have onion and garlic because everything good starts with garlic and onion, right? You could put ginger in there if you wanted to. So we're gonna get that started. The recipe that I found, I actually found two. I was scrolling through, I was actually on YouTube saving one of my recordings off of Zoom, and I saw a guy making fried cauliflower rice, and he makes his own chili oil, and he was using the chili oil. So we're not gonna use chili oil, we're just gonna add water as we need to. So as the vegetables start to stick, I'll just add a tablespoon or two of water, and I have my water right here handy. So that's in the skillet right now. And the recipe I found was really super simple. So it was just, they also used olive oil and butter, which we're not gonna do. The cauliflower, and if you don't know how to cut up cauliflower, you cut the stem out, break off the little florets, and your cutting board stays a lot neater if you cut from the stalk end instead of cutting through the floret, and then just kind of pull it apart. So you just have to cut it into bite-sized pieces and then put it in the food processor. So that's, I didn't grind it all up so you could see what it looks like. So here it is in the food processor in small pieces, and then it just takes like 10 seconds to grind it up and make it look like rice. What the guy on the YouTube said was it's got more crunch than when you buy it frozen. So whatever I have left is probably gonna go in the freezer, but maybe not. Maybe we'll just use it all in the stir fry. So yellow onion, I used half a red onion. I only had one zucchini, not two. I used a whole bell pepper instead of half. I added some carrots, and I'm adding some mushrooms. They used vegetable or chicken broth. We may use a little vegetable broth. We'll see if we needed it or not. Pepper, hot red pepper flakes, and of course they put cheese in it, which we're not gonna do. We're gonna make a simple sauce with some amino acids in place of soy sauce. I need a spoon. Things are starting to sizzle over here on my end. I got the garlic and the onions in here. We'll let those cook for about 2 minutes. So the simple sauce we're gonna make is amino acids, tamari in place of the soy sauce, a splash of sesame oil, because sesame oil goes a long way. A lot of recipes call for a teaspoon of it, and you just need a splash, 1/8 to 1/4. I didn't have any hoisin sauce, so we're gonna use some garlic chili sauce, because it needs a little kick in my mind. Basil and hemp seeds. I don't know if you've ever used hemp seeds, but you can buy hulled hemp seeds. It's a great source of protein. It gives a little extra crunch. We're just gonna put 2 tablespoons of that in the stir fry when it's all done. So we're getting busy here. If you come on, say hi in the chat. I'm sorry I was late today. Anybody that was expecting me at 2 o'clock. It's a little gray and stormy here, and my class just ran over. So we got the onions and the garlic going, and I'm gonna add, you wanna add your hard vegetables because they'll take longer. Add those first, and then the softer vegetables can just go in at the very last minute. And then the cauliflower goes in at the very last minute. While we're chatting, I'm gonna chop up the mushrooms. I always like to take the stems out of the mushrooms. I don't know why, but I do. Oops, there went one on the floor. The dog will be over here having a snack. How's everybody's day going? My day has been great. Yesterday we had an awesome walk, seeing all the beautiful spring flowers in Cincinnati, and that feeling of being with my girlfriends has stayed with me. We stopped at a local bakery and shared some of their great creations, Brown Bear and OTR. If you don't know where it is and you're local, it's across from, it's on 13th, across from Old St. Mary's Church. I need to add a little bit more, and I need to turn the heat down. I got busy thinking about my day yesterday and forgot about what we were cooking. And each one of these vegetables really only take a couple of minutes to get to a place where you want them to be just crunchy tender. Is that a term? Crunchy tender? All right, so I love to cook out of the refrigerator, and a lot of times that's what I do. I just look in there and see what I have, and because to start, I love to go to the market and just buy what looks good without a recipe in mind. But I've been doing this for a really long time, so I don't always have to have recipes in a list. I can just buy what looks good and what we like, because that's what we're gonna eat. All right, there's the mushrooms all chopped up. I'm gonna put the peppers in next, and I cut them kind of skinny and long, just for a different look. Put those in next. And, you know, I like to have a little cup of water. I guess you would maybe like to see what I'm doing here. Can you see the skillet? There we go. I like to have a cup of water right next to the stove so I can just add it as I need it. You don't want it soupy, you just want it to not stick. I'm gonna grind up the rest of the cauliflower. You can see that took no time whatsoever. And add it with the rest in this bowl. We'll move this out of the way. My kitchen counter that isn't big enough today for all this stuff. All right, so there's the cauliflower rice. It's nice and fluffy. See? Can you see that? It's nice and fluffy. Oh, there's a piece that didn't get ground up. I think I'll eat it. All right. It took me about 4 times, and that wasn't a whole head of cauliflower, but it was a big head of cauliflower, so it was probably a little better than half a head of cauliflower. Now I'm going to throw the zucchini in, and we're going to make our sauce. I'm probably going to eat this as soon as it's done. You could add any vegetables you want, as you well know, in a stir fry. Whatever you got in the refrigerator, this is just what I happen to have. All right, I need my directions here for the sauce. So we're gonna do, I use tamari instead of soy sauce. Soy sauce has wheat in it, and I try to be gluten-free. So a tablespoon of tamari. And then it said, oops, I'm putting it in a cup with the water. Don't want to do that. Move that out of the way. So, tablespoon of tamari. I'm just going to do a splash of sesame oil. Turn the heat down. A drizzle. This is more like a drizzle. I'm going to use some coconut aminos for the dark soy sauce, because I don't know the difference between dark and light. It just called for a teaspoon of that. Instead of the hoisin, I'm going to put in this garlic chili sauce. We'll start with a scant tablespoon. You can always add more. You can always add red pepper flakes. Let's see what else is going in there. Basil. I don't have any fresh basil right now, so we're just going to use dried basil. And I'll probably do a tablespoon of that. And now I'm going to throw the mushrooms in with the rest of the vegetables. How you get your Asian food done so fast. Just step, step, step process. Let that have a minute. Did we get everything in there? I found this new seasoning blend at Trader Joe's. Instead of using sriracha, use the powder. And then we have some red pepper flakes if we need a little more heat. All right, I'm gonna stir up this sauce, and I don't know if this will be enough sauce or not. I have no idea. Can always make more, right? All right, we're gonna throw in the cauliflower. And that's 4 cups of cauliflower. The recipe actually called for 2, we'll see. Probably will need more sauce just because we've got a lot of big skillet full of vegetables here. Have any of you had cauliflower rice? I know my daughter was looking for it at Sam's. She said she had a recipe for it, and I didn't think to tell her just get a head of cauliflower. Bad mom. And we're gonna put the sauce on there. See if that's probably gonna need a little bit more. And then you're gonna see me go off the grid because I'm not gonna measure anything. I'm just gonna pour it in. You could also make a peanut sauce and put that in there. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water because the sauce got kind of thick with the dried basil. And then we'll give it a taste and it's done. Just like that. I like to consider this a free meal because everything was already bought. Everything was already in the refrigerator or the pantry. You know, all those spices you bought for that one recipe. I think we can put the rest of the cauliflower rice in there. Looks good, doesn't it? You could add tofu. You could add some edamame. Ooh, that might be good in there. You could add corn, peas, just about anything, really. All right, there it is. Let me get a fork and see how it tastes. I don't usually eat my food on camera, but I have a feeling it's gonna need a little bit more sauce. So let's see. It's gonna be hot. It's got plenty of basil. I forgot to put in the hemp seeds. Let me get a spoon. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And that's, you know, protein, crunch, yummo. I think I'm gonna throw in a little red pepper flakes, a little bit more coconut aminos. This is how I love to cook. So I'll try to type up the recipe. And give it another stir. You notice I didn't put any salt in it. You know, the amino acids in the tamari have plenty of salt. You could add a little vegetable broth or chicken broth to it if you wanted to, instead of the water. All right, I think it's done. What do you think? Can you see it? It's a big pot full. And I think Bill skipped lunch, and so did I. I think we're gonna eat it right now. So hopefully this inspires you to just cook out of your refrigerator and pantry. Use up what you've got, what you already bought, instead of throwing it in the trash. And just really Google. I do vegan because I don't want animal protein in my food. And I sub out any oil with water. And I just put in the ingredients that I have. Sometimes I just put, like this dish, I just put the zucchini, the peppers, and the cauliflower. And then I added the mushrooms because I thought they would be good in there. So you don't have to put every ingredient in. You'll still come up with a recipe that pretty much uses garlic and onion and just the basics. So hope I've inspired you to have fun in the kitchen, cook with confidence, and reap the benefits of what you put together in the skillet. If you like the ingredients you started with, you're gonna like the finished product. I guarantee it. You can call me on that. And if you wanna know more about how you can work with me or the programs that I've got going on, say me in the chat, hit replay, #replay if you're watching this later. And I missed you all today. Stay safe, stay in where it's nice and dry, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.